You're good there, buddy. So, my car died. Or at least the transmission died. Now, you might be wondering, why am I making this video? Well, this affects everybody. I've owned this car ever since my 18th birthday, or a little bit before. It was a gift from my dad. We got this car 6 years ago at about, 200 and something thousand miles, I think, right? We've got our money's worth. We only paid $2,000 for it, and I'm scrapping it for about 200. So we've got our money's worth. But my point of making this video is a message to everybody that owns a car. Now, it might not apply the same to the people that own electric cars, but this is just a warning. Just keep this in mind. If you own a car, do your self-maintenance. Now, I thought I was doing my self-maintenance, right? Getting the oil changed every 5,000 miles, getting the tires rotated every however many miles, getting the, making sure the belts are in good condition, making sure I got the O2 sensor replaced. I live in Tennessee, so we don't really care about emission standards. You don't have to get an emission sticker to pass every year, so I'm lucky on that one. But still, I own this car. It starts up, it struggled. That's actually the first time it's ever struggled to start up, but it's because it's sat in this one spot for probably a month now. I haven't been able to move it, and that's because the transmission died. I can try and show you. I can put this in reverse. It ain't moving. I can try and put it in drive. Whoa, it moves? That's a first. Okay, well, it moves forward very slightly. That's actually a first. It hasn't moved, but it doesn't do reverse. It doesn't do forwards. But let me get to the point. Transmission fluid is very important to check. Now, I know this car has 310,000 miles, but I don't think this car was ready to die. The engine was working just fine. Yes, it was burning oil. It's an older car, and we're not the first owner, so whoever was the first owner probably didn't do the maintenance correctly. But one thing that they tell you, if you have a transmission and you don't know if they changed the transmission fluid, they're like, don't change the transmission fluid because it could make things worse. What they don't tell you is to check the transmission fluid. Now, I was driving my fiance to work, and we were going up a hill. Everything worked just fine. Getting there, it was acting a little bit weird, right? The gears were slipping. Not too bad. It was doing pretty normal. But then we were going up a hill, and then all of a sudden, I completely lost power. Now, the engine didn't die, but my RPMs needed to be higher and higher and higher for me to even go. And if you don't know how that works, it's from the transmission. It drives on propulsion with the fluids, and it's not that complicated, but I don't think I had enough fluid in there, and I've never checked the fluid on this car. One thing about an older car, or at least a Camry, it has a transmission stick which you can check the fluid just like the oil. Not very difficult. But I ended up getting a newer car, a 2014 RAV4, and it doesn't have a transmission stick. It has all-wheel drive, which I regret because it gets worse gas mileage, but it doesn't have a transmission, stick to check the fluid. And I'm very sad about that, because now I got to take it to the shop every couple, 10,000 miles, get them to check the fluid. But yeah, point of this video, check your fluids, especially transmission fluid. Even if your mechanic doesn't tell you to change the transmission fluid. They tell you oh, I don't recommend it. Go at least check the levels, you know, put some anti-slip, you know, go watch a Scotty Kilmer video. He can tell you all about it, but at least check your levels. That's my point. But yeah, this is just a final send-off for my car that I got when I turned 18, my 18th birthday gift from my dad, and it's gonna get scrapped tomorrow. There's a tow truck guy that's gonna come pick it up. I'm not even gonna see him take it because I have work. But here it is, running in the flesh, you know, AC still runs good. Windshield wipers, I took off the blades, so I'm not gonna show that. It doesn't have, you know, windshield wipers. It's just got this thing that's gonna scratch everything. But the mats are good. A 2005 Toyota Camry, probably one of my favorite cars, you know. Still runs smooth. The shocks are dead, you know. It's a bouncier ride, but, you know, I'm gonna cut this video a little bit short. But that check engine light, all that means, the catalytic converter, it still has it, but it's old. It's not running that efficiently. That's all that code means. Everything else on this car works great. Ironically, before I came to Vermont, I put brand new tires on it. That was a mistake. And when we first got this car, it had a wheel bearing, you know, when you're going fast, it made a whoop, 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 whoop noise. We drove like that for 6 years, and there was no problems. So if a mechanic tries to sell you a wheel bearing, I would question that, because we drove with a bad wheel bearing for 6 years and didn't have any problems. You know, they say a bad wheel bearing can be driven on as long as it's not like hindering the performance of the car and it's not making a bunch of noise. Like, this noise wasn't a scraping noise, it was just a wubbing noise at a 70 miles per hour. But yeah, luckily for me, I was able to get a new car, and it gets worse gas mileage, which sucks. This car would get, you know, 24, 25, 26. It gets 30 miles to the gallon on cruise. My new car, cruise control sucks. It stays at 4,000 RPM. It's all-wheel drive, has bigger tires, sucks up gas. Yeah, it's what I get. It's what I get for getting a new car. You know, they say the older ones are better, and I strongly believe that. So stick with an older car. If you got an older car, stick with that. Take care of your car. Check the fluids. You know, don't listen to the mechanic. Check your dang fluids. They might have told me to check it, but I just never checked it. They told me not to change it, so I thought that meant don't check it either. But I just didn't think about it, and I'm sure most people aren't thinking about it. So if you watch this video, check your fluids. You know, it takes like 1 second. You just, you know, take the thing out, do the thing. You know what I mean? But anyways, if I do end up uploading this, hope this helps some people get the life out of their car that it deserves, because I'm sure I could have got at least another 50,000 miles out of this thing, and it would have saved me a lot of money, because I was not in the position to get a new car. But yeah, check your fluids, take care of your car, go to the mechanic every 5,000 miles. Just tell them, hey, can you check my fluid? They can even check your fluids. Most of the time, they'll do it for free if you got a good mechanic. You know, Walmart will check your fluids. Yeah, that's about it. That's 2005 Toyota Camry LE send-off. It's my send-off video. Yeah. Thank y'all for watching.